Okay, we're back with part 4 of how to use turtles within Python. And what I wanted to show you now is how to introduce the random package within Turtle to actually allow the turtle to be a bit more unpredictable. So what we do first of all is we import random. This is a package that has the purpose of generating randomness. It's that simple. Without giving you a long lecture, random numbers in a computer are not as random as you think. They, depending on the programming languages, they'll use all sorts of stuff like the clock or the input-output or anything you're doing to actually generate what looks like a random number, but it's not really. Anyway, what we're going to do is we're going to actually decide to make some of these variable values that we've incorporated actually become completely and utterly random. Because the whole numbers, we're going to do rand int. So I'm going to start off basically by changing the pen color here to a random int. So what we got there is rand.randint, and what we do here is we tell it what our maximum and minimum numbers are. So if we did 0 up to 255, we're going to get a random number between those two values each time. Now, as I explained when we were dealing with pen colors, we're using the RGB values. So what will happen is if I actually set these three values to random ints and run it, each time we're going to get a different pen color, and I can pretty much prove that every time I run it. So each time the outside is different in color. Nice and simple, no problem, it's dead easy to do. All you need to do is do a start and ending value. Right, I'm going to do that as well for the fill color. So the fill color, let's just find it, is also going to be completely random, and again, running it, and you'll see that we'll just start to get different combinations each time. Right, here's where we're going to have a bit of fun, for want of a better word. I'm going to actually make the size, the distance, and the degree completely random as well. Now, if you remember from the earlier tutorial, the number of sides actually controls the number of times that we actually loop. So we don't want to set that to 0, because if we do it to 0, we're going to end up with a massive fit if it hits the for loop and it's got a counter of 0. It won't do anything. So we need at least a value of 1. If nothing else, we're going to get a circle. Simple. Okay, and then what we do there is we don't want to go too big, so we're going to go up to at most 25 actual sides. And you'll see again when we run it, as you can see, it's done a pentagon, partly because our degree is still 45 and our distance is 50, so those sides are going to be nice and regular. Again, we don't want that, because that's just a bit dull every single time. The same number of sides, the same pattern. So let's go a bit further. Let's really ramp it up. Let's have anything up to a distance of 100. Let's have anything up to 360 degree turn. So basically, it could just basically spin around in a circle, and you could actually end up getting that effect. Okay, you see now we get completely different patterns because of it. They're very, very different. And again, each time we'll get different colours in the patterns. As you can see it's completely different every single time now. And that's because we're introducing that element of randomness to it. As you can see, sometimes the actual pattern doesn't complete because there's not enough actual sides, not enough loops to complete the shape that it's developing. And that's it. That's how we start using random numbers within a Python program. And it's interesting to see it on Turtle, because you can physically see what it's doing. It actually shows you how those random numbers operate. You could add a few print statements in if you wanted to actually find out what the values we actually got in them, to prove basically that it worked. So just quickly, if you just put in the actual print statement, it will print out what those values are. And there we go. So we've got this very tight thing going on, and that's because we've got 10 sides, 6 distance, and 163 degrees each time. So you can actually check them. If you struggle to remember which one of these are, you could also just get it to print out an actual word for each one. Okay, there we go. So that's our introduction to incorporating randomness into our turtles. That's very important because in the long run, we want to use Turtle to actually either create computer games, or if you're really, really into it, doing artificial intelligence, and a bit of randomness really works well for simulating life. Okay, so that's our tutorial on using randoms. If you like what you see, please like and subscribe, and also put a comment in about what you would like me to do next.